Hello Legends, this is Shadow Hunter and today we are back with a brand new Apex Legends video in which we are going to be talking about the current Legends tier list. Apex Legends is now in Season 5 guys, so it's time to look through the current growing roster to determine who is the best of the best. With the new map changes, the introduction of the Master Thief Loba, there were a fair amount of changes made in the new update. Many legends received buffs and nerfs, with one getting an entire ability rework. Eat your heart out, Tin Can. This has shaken up the meta a little bit and could lead to some interesting competitive matches down the road. That means it's time to look at all the legends and see where they fit in our tier list. When evaluating each legend, I looked at their adaptability, general abilities, how they synergize with other legends, and what they bring to the game. Keep in mind you can climb the ranked ladder with any of these legends, just know that some will have an easier time than the others. Just because your favorite legend is not at the top doesn't mean that you should stop using them. I'm simply evaluating them as they currently stand in the Season 5 meta and their performance in higher ranked / competitive matches. So we're gonna have 3 tiers guys. Tier 1 legend are currently the best in the game. These legends and their abilities are either extremely flexible or offer an insane amount of utility to their team. Tier 1 characters can be found all throughout ranked matches. If you aren't playing as one of these legends, accept to come against them and practice dealing with their various ability. So the first legend that is on tier 1 under tier 1 is Wraith. Wraith has been popular with professional players, streamers and competitive individuals since the start of the game. Boasting the smallest hitbox in the game, Wraith can be difficult to pin down in a hectic battles. Into the Void acts as a great way to disengage from losing fights, giving you a chance to heal up before returning to the battle. It's also supremely useful when shifting from one piece of cover to another, or if you want to be cheeky by rotating in the damage circle to sneak up behind the team. Dimensional Rift is just another solid team mobility skill that lets you take risky fights or retrieve if a firefight isn't going your way. Her voices from the void also acts as the nice intelligence gathering method, even if it is a little limited. Wraith has consistently been a top pick for a very good reason. Her synergistic abilities and small hitbox makes her quite tricky to take down. Plus none of her abilities were buffed or nerfed, so she's just as good as she was in the previous season. Gibraltar. You just can't miss this big guy. GB has been hit with a buff after buff, turning him into an absolute tank. Despite having back-to-back nerfs to his gun shields, health and dome shields duration, Gibraltar is still one of the most versatile and difficult heroes, especially 1v1. This big boy can absorb a lot of damage, especially if you aren't landing consistent headshots. Despite receiving a slight nerf this season, Gibraltar is still among the top the meta currently. Our golden boy, Mirage. In an absolutely surprising turn of events, our boy Mirage went from one of the worst legends in the game all the way to the top of the charts thanks to a substantial rework of his abilities. Now Mirage can control a decoy he throws out, causing it to mirror all the movements that Mirage makes. This makes him significantly more useful in almost every situation, as it will help create confusion for other teams. Mirage also has an entirely new ultimate, Life of the Party, which summons several decoys that will all mirror Mirage's movement, allowing him to either add a lot of chaos to the fight or to possibly make a stealthy getaway. Arguably the most useful change to Mirage comes in the form of his new passive, Now You See Me, which turns Mirage invisible while he is either reviving a teammate or using a respawn beacon. This ability is a game changer since it is essentially makes Mirage a better lifeline in terms of reviving teammates so long as the other teammates do not know where Bamboozler went. Revenant. About halfway through Season 4, Respawn decided to give Revenant a buff to bring him more in line with other legends in the meta. However, this buff turned out to be extremely powerful, making Revenant into a killing machine. Next legend in top tier 1 is Caustic. Caustic was already a strong pick for King's Canyon thanks to his ability to lock down enclosed areas, but in Season 5, Respawn gave Caustic a buff that many fans have been asking for. Previously, Caustic's gas traps slowed down teammates who passed through the smoke, and while it didn't damage them, it did cause a bit of trouble for the teammates mid-fight. Respawn has now adjusted the smoke to no longer slow down teammates, which sound like a small change, but it actually was one of the only thing holding Caustic back from climbing up the tier list. Final legend in the tier 1 is Pathfinder. Our latest blood and friendly robot, Pathfinder has proven himself to be one strong legend. His grappling hook not only allows him to quickly gain a height advantage on his foes, but also rapidly shift to a new location in the middle of the battle. I get that the 35-second cooldown seems like a huge blow, but trust me guys, it's actually not that bad. All this means is that you cannot get insanely aggressive and have to be a little more selective about when and where to use the grapple. Good Pathfinder players have mastered this ability, allowing them to soar through the air or catch any foe attempting to escape. It can also provide a zip line so your team can rotate to a new, more secure location. Tier 2. This is where a lot of Apex Legends roster ends up. They're still solid choices, but there is something that's holding them back from reaching to the top spot. Picking these heroes won't put you at any real disadvantage, but you might need to work for your skills a bit more. It's more than possible that with the right buff or nerf, one of these heroes could rocket to the top of the tier list. Loba. Loba is the latest legend to join the game, and she's a pretty thick pick. Her kit isn't broken as such that would place her high in tier 1, but her kit can be extremely thick and useful for those who take the time to practice with her abilities. Her ultimate has a lot of uses as well, whether that's needing to pick up ammo, look for a certain hop or more. Her ability to teleport is simply insane. Bangalore is the next in tier 2. Bangalore is a legend that works best when a team builds around her. This is mainly because her tactical ability can blind both enemies and her teammates. Sure, this is great for pushing teams or escaping, but it can also hamper your squad if used incorrectly. Bangalore passive gives her a nice speed boost when being shot at, and her ultimate is great for displacing enemies or forcing them to cover. Everything about Bangalore is generally solid, but there's nothing exceptional about her kit. Bangalore is a solid legend, guys, that I started my Apex journey with, and she got me and my teammates a lot of wins. Lifeline. Lifeline is an Apex Legends only healer, making her still very valuable in current meta. Her health drone allows the squad to sustain a fight for longer, and her revive shield allows her to pick teammates up mid-fight. What holds Lifeline back is her passive low profile debuff, which makes her to take more damage. Lifeline does not really need the low profile perk, since she has no movement abilities to help her escape fights, and her hitbox isn't that much smaller than some of the other legends. Lifeline is a great pick for a team, but she definitely could be better. Watson. This may surprise some players who don't watch the pro scene or have reached higher ranks, but Watson is insanely strong. She has the best arena denial skills in the entire game, thanks to the fence pylon, which can turn any indoor or confirmed location into an electric fortress. Not only do they slow down enemies that pass through, but you'll be pinged when they are triggered. Great as an early warning system to deterrent for opponents, Watson is the master at dictating the flow of the combat. This brings us to tier 3, guys, the final tier on my list. Tier 3 is full of legends that are just fine, but nothing spectacular. You can certainly still use these characters, but don't expect them to make a splash in more competitive circles. Typically, characters in this category need a buff or a rework to a major aspect of their kit. Bloodhound. Bloodhound has always been a strong pick, even before they got a few buffs to the Eye of the Allfather. The sheer range of the Eye of the Allfather is pretty wild, as it can encompass nearly an entire point of interest with one activation. It's a solid ability that got a whopping 10 seconds off its cooldown, allowing Bloodhound users to be a bit more liberal with their scans. Octane. The adrenaline junkie of Apex Legends, Octane revolves around using his mobility to chase down enemies, escape fights, pick up banners, or quickly flank foes. Thanks to a recent buff, his launchpad now has a 60 seconds cooldown, which is fine, I guess. Octane's biggest problem is other heroes simply have better, more versatile movement options than him. Being able to give yourself a speed boost is great, but when characters like Wraith, Pathfinder, and now new Loba can quickly move across the battlefield with minimal risk, he quickly becomes outclassed. Crypto. This surveillance specialist has potential, capable of marking targets and even determining how many squads are in a 200-meter radius of the drone. Crypto is perfect for planning a fight before it begins, yet this drone is a double-edged sword, as a Crypto is completely defenseless and static while controlling his drone. This is a pretty big liability, since you may need to move the drone during a fight. It doesn't help that Crypto ultimate can be completely denied if his drone is destroyed before the EMP triggers. That's all there is, guys. That was our Apex Legends Season 5 tier list. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and if there is any suggestions or anything that you like, the changes, or you think that some legends has to be higher or lower, make sure to comment below. Again, make sure to like and subscribe, guys, as we post daily Apex Legends videos.